I am passionate about personal development. I think it's safe to say. So my thoughts today isn't necessarily about selling myself or selling my brand. It's just about you understanding what you're here for. And that's the question. Each and every one of you feel pointed. What are you here for? Because I feel that we all have a social, personal, professional, and global responsibility to make a difference in this world. So, personally, what are you here for? As a parent, what are you here for? Are you here to be a good dad, average mum? Are you here to be a great brother, sister, mother? So every morning, every day, in every situation, what are you here for? What are you here for now? If you do this every single day, personally, professionally, are you here to serve others? Are you here to help others? Sharon was saying about serving. Can I have some water in a bit, please? Some people talk about serving. Well, I think we're here to serve. And professionally, it's up to you. Are you here to serve someone else, or are you here to serve yourself to serve someone else? And what are you here for globally? From the beginning of life, of humanity, there's been 107 billion people living on this planet. Up 1 or 2. 7.4 currently live in the planet right now. And in 2100, I'm going to be around 11.2 billion. Now, my question to you, how many of those have really made a difference? I mean, I don't know. I was thinking, how many have made a difference? 10 million? 20 million? 50 million? I mean, I'm talking about a real difference. And I'll explore a little bit more about that in a minute. But if you think about it, I don't think there's that many people that have made a difference. Why? Because we don't care. Because we just get on with life and we focus on things that aren't really important. So, I'm going to come up with a few stories, but one of them, for example, imagine just hundreds, thousands of years ago. Well, let's just go back 500-600 years. Cristobal Colon trying to go and discover America. They stick a couple of goats in a boat. I've been into the Santa Maria. Trust me, it's a really small little boat. They stick a couple of goats, a couple of barrels of water, some dry food, and off they go. Where they're going, they have no idea where they're going. But they're going to discover a new world. And they spend days, weeks, months with nothing. There's no light, no electric, no Spotify. And there they are, trying to find a new world. Are they scared? Bloody right they are. And that's what history's been about. History, from the beginning, you know, men and women have pushed themselves to the limits. And we've got so many amazing stories of, you know, the Wright brothers. Imagine these guys sticking these little pieces of wood with a bit of material. Let's jump off this and let's jump off the hill, see if we can kill ourselves. But here we are, 110 years later, we got planes. Edmund Hillary climbing Everest. Now, trust me, they weren't thermal clothes. You look at these guys now, and so, you know, from the beginning of time, you know, we've built the most amazing constructions with no power tools. Pyramids, cathedrals. The most amazing things was in someone's mind, and all of a sudden, 200 years later, it's built. So, the bottom line is that all these people at a certain time in their lives, they ask themselves, what am I here for? What's on the other side? How could I create something unique? And one of the things I'm going to carry on drilling, and we talked about it yesterday, is your life is going to be based on the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. But the bottom line is, again, what are you here for? So there's 3 characters through the people I've interviewed, the people I've worked with, the people that I've researched, the people that I've read. Because like many of you, I've read loads of books, I've attended so many seminars, and that's a fantastic thing. Continue doing that. Listen, we're all champions. There's loads of losers, and they're outside. Champions are here. That's right. That's right. Thanks to Carmelita. So, common characters, they're resilient. They keep evolving. They carry on reinventing themselves, and they all welcome change. They all have, they're permanently looking for that revolution. So I'm going to go through and explore these things quite quickly. Resilience, well, it's a material, a person, an individual that keeps bouncing back to a previous shape, to a previous form. It's something that is tough. And there's different types of resilience. You see, someone says, wow, it was so stressful today, 4 hours stuck in traffic to go to the park, take my family. And then there's those resilience that are on the other side of the Mediterranean, trying to keep their family alive, stick them on a dinghy when they can't swim and their kids can't swim because they need to survive. And you know what? They do. And we all do. How many of you parents would give their life instantly for their kids? Instantly, without question. That's what we do. Ultimately, when we're cornered, we will take action. So, there's different types of resilience. There's also like, oh my God, I put the hot water, it's still 5 minutes, still not hot. You've seen that advert when the boiler's gone. The advert says the boiler's gone. Then on the other hand, there's little girls who are basically walk 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon to go and get some water. So there's different types of resilience. And you know what? Listen, I'm going to say this several times. We're extremely lucky. Yeah. Okay? So for the whingers, the complainers out there, listen, seriously? Just look around. Now, being resilient can be in many ways. This is a funny one. I read this, I thought it was quite interesting. For the average couple, not for me, it didn't take me that long. Okay? Some people have had to make love an average of 104 times to have a baby. Not me. That's right. Anyway, moving on.
He just looks at them.
Luckily, my wife's not here. But anyway, I've got 3 kids. Someone said this 1,000 times. We've heard this several times. A photographer, National Geographic photographer, has to take 400 shots to get the right shot. James Dyson, I thought that was very interesting. 5,126 attempts till he got his Dyson right. J.K. Rowling, she got turned down 12 times. Now, these are different types of resilience, but she got turned down by expert publishers 12 times. I think they got it wrong. Luckily, the daughter of the publisher read it. Tim Ferriss, he got turned down 26 times. Jack Canfield, and I know Sharon shared this story with me, that got turned down 140 times. 140 times. How good are those publishers? Seriously. When they say no, up yours. Excuse me. So, 120 million copies later. I mean, I didn't know. I found this Agatha Christie. She was turned down for 5 years. I mean, seriously. In excess of over 2 billion in sales. So I love this quote from Bruce Lee, that, you must be shapeless, formless, like water. When you pour water in a cup, it becomes a cup. When you pour water in a bottle, it becomes a bottle. When you pour water in a teapot, it becomes a teapot. Water can drip, and water can crash. So be water, my friends. Take it all in. Revolution. Well, the revolution is a new system, is the establishment of a system, a new system, something that needs changing because, well, listen, life's moved on, or, simply the old system's not working. So we've gone through several. If you think about it, the agricultural, people were dying of starvation. Industrial, there were some clever people out there saying, these car things not going to work, we're going to carry on using horses. Well, they got it wrong. And was it uncomfortable? Yes. Was it difficult? Yes. But it's just a necessary revolution. The information revolution. It's made our life so amazing. And, I mean, I was talking before, and I believe now that we're in the educational revolution. And this is kind of where we basically make a difference. And I can imagine 2 Greeks, 4,000 years ago, says, you know what? I can imagine people are going to be sending messages and talking to a device. And they're going to be on the other side of the planet. And they're going to be able to do photographs. And the guy's going to say, what's a photograph? Well, they had these conversations thousands of years ago. Now, if you had that conversation when the Spanish Inquisition, basically they would have taken you to the square, they would have put some logs down and burned you alive. Now, that's a fact. People have got burnt alive because of their ideals, because of their thoughts. So, it's a serious thing. Now, we have more technology in this than we had in the Apollo 11. Man, they got those guys in a rocket, put some fuel and put them up there. And we are complaining and whinging about our life. And we've got this. We can do anything with this. I mean, we're on Facebook Live a minute ago. We can do anything with a phone. So, again, for those people that complain, those whingers, those people that, carry on going on about, my life and this and that. Listen, if personal and professional growth is about anything, it's about realizing how lucky you are. Okay? Big round of applause to all of you. So, this quote from Darwin, it's not the most intellectual, it's not the strongest. It's the one that's able to adapt. You have to adapt to the times. Either you adapt to the times, or you're going to be burnt alive. So, the reinvention part of is keep evolving, okay? Look, there's nothing wrong with you, but we all need tweaking. Again, our phone. It doesn't take us a minute. The moment we get an update from Apple, I wouldn't have a Samsung because it might burn in my pocket. The moment you get an update software from Apple, you're immediately downloading it, okay? Because you want to have the latest trend. iPhone 7, people queue for days and hours and weeks to get their phone. But when it comes down to ourselves, we struggle. We struggle with evolving, updating, renewing, improving. Why? And the life is full of amazing people that have, reinvented themselves and never taken no for an answer. Oprah. She was molested by her uncle, cousin, and neighbor, lost a kid at the age of 14, suffered tremendous, abuse with xenophobia and racism, and look at her now. Al Jarreau started singing at 35, Andrea Bocelli, blind. I mean, we got Karen. I mean, can you imagine for a minute what it is to be like Karen? And you look at people like Andrea Bocelli, he succeeded. He started singing at the age of 30, 35. He could see till he was 12. Sylvester Stallone got turned down so many times about his film Rocky. He refused to sell the script to anyone. He got offered hundreds of thousands of pounds, refused. He sold his wife's jewelry. Sold his dog, actually, because he couldn't afford it. And there he is, he stuck to it because he wanted to be the actor of Rocky. And the rest is history. Howard Schultz, he came from a very poor family. I mean, look at Muhammad Ali. I mean, the man's a legend. He was an absolute... When will they say the word legend? He was a legend. Man. What an amazing individual. And so many stories. I mean, Jeff Bezos, he started at the age of 30. For those that we all... Was there a life before Amazon? Oh my God. I would say sometimes, Facebook 10, 15 years ago. Hold on a minute, it wasn't around. So, the things that we take for granted. Elon Musk, I'm a massive fan of his. I mean, the man, his dad was extremely strict, got divorced, got bullied at school. He is a 21st century, genius. The guy keeps moving and creating and moving forward, and the things he's working on. But then if you look at things like Uber, which again we take for granted, this happened in 3 years, 2-3 years. Yeah. 2-3 years. Yeah. So why can't you be who you want to be in 2 or 3 years? Says who? Yeah. Wow. Bernardo. So the world is full of contrast, okay? The world is full of contrast, and this is what I'm saying is that you go and pay £350, £400 for a pair of high heels, and then you've got people that actually haven't got anything to wear. Oh, but they're so nice. This is true resilience, okay? The people that are actually on a boat, on a cruiser, and their act of resilience is, you know what, they survived 16 hours drinking and eating, and they didn't faint or pass out. Okay? How more cake can I eat? I'm resilient. Now, excuse me, you're not. Okay? The people that you just missed out crossing the Mediterranean, trying to stay alive, they're resilient. Okay? So we live in a world of contrast. You don't have to go far in London. I go to work pretty much every day. You see people sleeping on the street, and then that house over there is 10, 15 million pounds. It's bloody ridiculous. Yeah. And you know what we do? We complain and whinge. So my journey, my story is, I'm passionate about personal development. I'm passionate about making a difference. But what I'm really passionate about is each and every one of you taking responsibility for your life, for your actions, to stop blaming others, to carry on reading, to carry on learning, to carry on evolving, and to make this world a better place. So, what I've continued is, I'm an author now, I'm a speaker. I've only started sharing my message. I think this is my fifth occasion that I've spoken. I normally introduce Richard and Paul. Thank you. So, it's not something that I did. I mean, when I originally trained, and I did my NLP training with Paul McKenna, I knew I wanted to become an author or speaker for the Spanish-speaking market. Now, I got distracted by promoting these guys. So obviously, I've got so much more knowledge than I did 10 years ago when I was planning on doing it. I'm a great believer of Malcolm Gladwell. 10,000 hours. You've got to spend the time. You've got to train. You've got to really go out there and do the research and see who your avatars are, see who your competitors are. You've got to put the time in. I put so many hours in building who I am today. So, but you know, I'm sharing my story because I'm passionate about it, and I'm going to share what my question is. But pretty much, I launched the magazine 5 years ago. We've done we do bi-monthly. I did my first personal development expo this year, so we had 4,800 people pre-register, 3,000 people show up. It was a big personal development expo. We had 55 workshops throughout the 2 days. Next year, our second expo, we're aiming for 10,000 people, 120 workshops, and 160 exhibitors. So, thank you. For the last 4.5 years, I've been putting content together. I've filmed everything, I've recorded everything with the intent of launching the Best You TV channel. And I've been saying to myself, in 2017, I'm going to launch the Best You TV. Ooh, this year I realised 2017 is next year. So I better get on with it. So we're basically launching our Best You TV channel in the first or second quarter of 2017. We already have a partnership deal with a production company called TV4 in the US, and we hope to be in every platform, Netflix, Hulu, Samsung, Roku, and whoever will take our inspirational content. I'm also launching the e-learning platform at the same time, the podcast, which is simply a different format. And we're looking at licensing globally, and that's why I'm very proud to say and happy to say that I've worked with an amazing group of mentors, and Sharon and Michael were helping me and advising on this. So, what am I here for? Well, I'm here to make a massive difference, because I need to have a goal that drives me. I don't like anything that doesn't motivate me. So kind of my goal is, I'm going to make all the content, all the video content that we film, and some of the e-learning content that we're going to put together, I'm going to make it accessible to 150 million people in the next 10 years. And how I intend to do that is I'm going to give it for free to anyone under 19, and any over 69s. So, yes, I just picked the number 69 randomly. There's nothing thought about that. Seriously, what you like? What you like? So, that is the question. And the question is, what type of questions are you asking yourself? So, what are you here for? You need to ask yourself the right questions. Don't ask yourself, how shit is my day going to be today? How terrible is my boss going to be? Or how fat am I going to get? If you ask yourself those questions, you're going to get the answers. Ask yourself the right questions. And the moment you hear yourself asking yourself a negative question, simply delete, do not allow. Okay? Focus on what you want, and focus on asking yourself the right questions. So, how can you make a difference? How exciting is your bucket list? My bucket list is just getting out of hand. It's just ridiculous. How amazing is your life going to be? How can you become more driven? How can you help others? And listen, I understand not everyone is going to be an international, global speaker, brand, expert. But you know what? You help one person a day, you're going to have and make a massive difference to this world. So, feel pointed, each and every one of you. What are you here for? And I'm a great believer of Steve R. Covey's, which is life is about living, loving, laughing, I love laughing, and leaving a legacy. And I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm simply here to say that if I, personally, my brand, my company, my organizations can help you speak, you've got something to share, or you feel I could help you, I'll be delighted to speak to you. I'm going to be here the rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Give Bernardo a big round of applause. Well done. Congratulations.